YNW Melly's murder trial is starting on April 4th. We all know he's been in jail for the past few years, facing the charges of murdering his two friends. The first phase of Melly's trial, known as jury selection, begins on Monday in the Broward County Courthouse. In capital cases like Melly's, this can be a long process, boys. In order to be on the jury for a death penalty case, jurors must be death qualified, which means the potential juror must not be opposed to the death penalty and must not believe that death should be the punishment for capital murder all the time. That is, they must be willing to at least consider prison time, basically. The juror selection is starting the day you see this video, pretty much. He is sticking to his initial not guilty plea. Obviously, he's not claiming insanity or anything crazy like that. Melly's gonna fight this and try to prove his innocence in court. There is some new information that I didn't know existed, or I don't think the public knew until Complex got this. There are Instagram messages the day of the murders on Melly's Instagram account that are a little incriminating, and these are new messages, I believe. There's one Instagram message that took place hours after the killings, which was obtained by Complex. In it, Melly's account says, "I did that," in one message, followed 2 minutes later by saying shush. This really doesn't mean that he's talking about the murders, but just the fact that he's saying this a few hours after this situation is pretty insane to me. And then they proceed to talk about Melly buying a gun. However, the timing and content of this message will obviously be used by the state to make the case that those messages amount to admission by Melly of his guilt. Not long afterwards, the same person Melly sent this message to said, "It's a Sig 9 on the market," meaning that he was selling a Sig 9 gun. And Melly's account replies, "I want it." And then the seller goes, "It's all yours for $460. Why the fuck is he talking to this person about buying a gun and then also going, "I did that, shush"? Can we address this? Like, this is really weird, bro. I mean, hours after his friends being murdered, he goes, "I did that, shush." Now, when I made my first initial video, I talked about the motives of this. There should be a good reason for Melly to kill his two best friends, and people were commenting some conspiracies, and I wanted to look into those more. As a possible motive, the lead detective on the case said in a deposition that YNW Sack Chaser was set to receive around $200,000 from his record label. Sack Chaser's mother, Jana Thompson, expanded on the $200,000 payment in March of 2022. She specified that she didn't know exactly who the alleged payment was from or who it was for. She said that her son reached out to her a few days before he was killed. He was very concerned about my whereabouts, and he was concerned about his sister's whereabouts. He's concerned like something is going to happen to us, and he told me that he would not get his money. He said, "I'm probably not going to get my $200,000. I'm probably not even going to get my money, Ma." Why would Sack Chaser be concerned about his family's whereabouts so much, saying, "I'm not getting my money anymore"? So it sounds like a deal went south before Sack Chaser passed. Also, witnesses are being very difficult in this case, apparently. Several key witnesses apparently talked to the cops when the investigation first started, but then once Melly was charged, they repeatedly missed scheduled depositions and have not responded to attempts from the state to reach them. One of the witnesses being Melly's ex-girlfriend and her mother. Initially, they told police that Melly called them right after the shootings and said that he'd been a victim of a drive-by. Since then, they haven't fucking spoken a peep since he's been charged, pretty much. So Melly's girlfriend and his mom, they're fucking MIA, missing in action, boys. Prosecutor Christine Bradley claimed in court that in order to discourage their testimony, Melly's mother made a car payment for Hamilton, and Melly's manager sent Holmes a $5,000 wire transfer. This is the prosecutor of the case claiming that Melly's mom and his team is trying to send them hush money, pretty much, and say, "Here's $5,000, don't speak a fucking word." That's pretty insane. Melly's doing anything and everything he can to prevent them from showing up, Bradley said in court on February 16th. The defendant is causing the witness to not be available. After the wire transfer, apparently they stopped answering phone calls. Melly's legal team clapped back and did not deny that money changed hands, but strongly denied that the payments were in return for not testifying. This is all prior to Melly breaking up with Miss Hamilton. Melly's lawyer also said if you go through his financials now, you would be floored to see how much he spends on his girlfriend. So it's typical that he would be spending money on his girlfriend. It's not witness tampering. The prosecutor's accusing Melly and his team of witness tampering. Melly's attorney is like, "Fuck no, this is just him spending a lot of money on his girlfriend. You're wrong." I mean, holy fuck. I mean, I'm all for family and friends and his manager supporting him and shit, but wow, that is a little incriminating to be sent on the same day as his friends being murdered and then trying to buy a gun from the person he sent it to. What the fuck is going on here, boys? I'm gonna keep updating y'all on this case. Comment down below what you guys think. There's a lot more to this. Shit's gonna be going down over the summer times. Hit subscribe, podcast channel, gaming channel. Love you, boys.